guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'm Megan, and we will be taking a quick side quest away from my journey back to being a distance runner because I got to take an amazing trip with my husband and some friends to Japan for a couple of weeks. Quick shout out to my husband Bryant on Coaster 365 for letting me use his footage for this trip because I realized that I had quite a few gaps in mine. So to start this trip, we were in Tokyo and we did a lot of sightseeing. Some Mario karting around Shibuya, including getting to kart through Shibuya Crossing. A stop over at a capybara cafe, which had two 3-year-old capybaras celebrating their birthday month. And also a visit to Team Lab Planets, which is the coolest walkthrough interactive museum experiences that you can do barefoot. There are two different path options, water and garden. We started with water and walked through different rooms, some of which had us standing in water and chasing light up fish projections. Others were a blackout room that you walked like over pillows, and a room that felt like an infinite galaxy. The garden line was a lot shorter, but the real showstopper here was this room full of hanging flowers that made you feel like you were enveloped in a garden. Once we were done sightseeing in Tokyo, we spent a few days at Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. Both parks were amazingly well done, and Disney Sea is honestly just on another level of size and detailing. It didn't exactly feel like a Disney park, and I mean that in a good way. The most Disney area there was definitely their new land, Fantasy Springs, and it was seeped in fantasy. All of the detailing was over the top. All of the rides were super immersive and well done. And then everything outside of Fantasy Springs was just massive and sprawling. After that, we made our way out of the Tokyo area. We made a quick stop at an amusement park called Fuji-Q Highland, which had some fun rides and an incredible view of Mount Fuji from the park. When we left there, we stopped at Nagoya, where I got to meet some dogs, and then we headed off to Nagashima Spa Land. This was another fun amusement park day, and it's right on the water, which was lovely. This is also the day that I went on a run. Honestly, it was my way to get out of the park for the day, but that was a really nice touch. After we left Nagashima Spa Land, we kept on trucking and headed out to Kyoto. We didn't get to spend a lot of time there. We were only there for one night, but we did get to stop by a temple with a bamboo forest, and we got to see some monkeys. So everything there was just fun and stunning, and I mean, come on, baby monkeys and this temple, like how can you beat that kind of a day? From there we went down to Osaka, and this was our stop off at Universal Studios Japan. And it's definitely a fun Universal park, and it was my first stop off at a Nintendo World, which feels like you're getting sucked into a video game. You feel like you are Mario at some points, and it is the coolest feeling to kind of walk through that pipe and see the land spread out in front of you. The rest of the park was, of course, super fun, and I do think I might have a new favorite roller coaster here, Flying Dinosaur. For those who know, you know. Post-Universal, we headed off to Hiroshima for the day. We got to stop at the Peace Memorial Park and see the Genbaku Dome, which is about where the first A-bomb went off. It was a very sobering but beautiful park to stop in, and I highly recommend it. From there, we took a boat over and headed to Yumejima to see the floating gate and, of course, some very friendly deer. From there, we left Hiroshima and we headed to Beppu for our final amusement park of the trip, and some beautiful shots of the mountain scenery around. And then we were off to Fukuoka, which was our last destination. And that's just a really quick overview of my trip to Japan. There's definitely a lot more that happened. My husband is doing a day-by-day recap on his channel, Coaster 365, so if you're interested in some of the more detail-oriented things from this trip, specifically amusement parks, because that was a big part of our trip, I highly recommend stopping by his channel. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week to go over me, rebounding into my rebound, recovering from my trip, and getting ready to hopefully run a 5K soon.